Welcome to the Ozarks Sports Report podcast. For today's show, we're going to be covering the scores from Week 2 of high school football, as well as some sports news, the scores from Sunday night's minor league baseball games, also the scores from Sunday night's Cardinals and Royals games, as well as the score from the Chiefs game tonight. Starting off with high school football. First off, 5 touchdowns lift Hillcrest over Glendale. It was the Josh Powell show that lifted Hillcrest over Glendale when he scored 5 touchdowns. The senior receiver scored 5 touchdowns, whether it was catching passes from Hillcrest's quarterback, Hayden Parton, running out of the Wildcat formation, returning kicks, or making plays on defense. Powell did a little bit of everything. After Glendale went 4 and out on its first possession, Hillcrest wasted no time turning its playmaker loose. Powell scored on 3 Wildcat runs, a 30-yard pass play, and a 60-yard interception that was called back on an inverted whistle. The final score, Hillcrest 54, Glendale 24. Up next down in Christian County, a blocked field goal keeps Nixa undefeated in a win over Branson. Friday night's home opener in Nixa came to a close with Nixa senior Alex Allen milling around Eagle Stadium in Christian County, showing off a red, swollen right hand proudly. The 6'6 senior turned in the play of the game by blocking a 32-yard field goal as time expired, sealing the Eagles' victory over Branson. It ended up being the perfect change from Branson kicker Justice Weber slammed it directly into Allen's outstretched hand, giving Nixa a 2-0 record. Nixa quarterback Jack Sanders turned in a 3-touchdown performance, connecting with Stephen Belcher on a 36-yard scoring pass in the second quarter, hitting Zach Rehagen on a 14-yard score in the third quarter, and running in from 42 yards out midway through the third quarter. Branson quarterback Ryan Still, who finished the night with 132 yards rushing and 68 yards passing, had a key 8-yard keeper to keep the Pirates a first down on their final drive and put them in a positional game-winning kick. Kyle Hunn had 102 yards on the ground for Branson, Still ran for a 3-yard touchdown to open the scoring, then hit Cam Peed with a 26-yard touchdown pass to give Branson a 13-7 lead at the half. Final score, Nixa 21, Branson 19. Over to Jasper County. Webb City defense lifts Webb City over Carthage. Following Webb City's win over Jasper County rival Carthage on Friday night, legendary coach John Rodriguez had an interesting game ball presentation that went to the new defensive secondary coach Trey Derryberry. Derryberry, a 3-year starter and all-state quarterback at Carthage, gave Rodriguez fits from 2006 to 2008, even beating Webb City in the 2007 playoffs. And in that game, Derryberry racked up 204 yards and 109 rushing yards. Webb City's defense made key stop after key stop, giving the Tiger offense optimal field position each time. The first came on Carthage's opening drive of the game, a 4-play set that resulted in a punt. Final score, Webb City 28, Carthage 7. A late field goal gives the Mountaineers the win over Catholic. Mount Vernon senior kicker Jaden Buttram withstood back-to-back timeouts from Springfield Catholic before calmly making a 26-yard game-winning field goal, lifting Mount Vernon past the Fighting Irish. Mount Vernon took a 7-0 lead into the halftime, thanks to just a 1-yard touchdown plunge by tailback Sammy Robinson midway through the second quarter. Mount Vernon was supposed to receive the opening kickoff, but that's when things began to go awry. A short kick by Catholic's Sam Crane found the turf instead of Mountaineer hands. The ball bounced away, and Catholic's Isaiah Whiteley pounced on it in Mount Vernon territory. With a few plays later on 4th and goal, quarterback Tyson Riley found Lincoln Jones over the middle for a game-tying score. Final score, Mount Vernon 16, Springfield Catholic 14. Up to Northern Greene County we go. Sophomore quarterback Willard leads Willard past Bolivar. After being told after the junior varsity game on Monday night he would become the varsity quarterback, imagine that, a sophomore with only 3 days to prepare, and by halftime under his first Friday night lights. The sophomore quarterback easily could have buried his head. However, Willard's Reese Dawson filled in for senior Quentin Batson wasn't about to. Dawson's first touchdown capped a 93-yard drive the next drive. The next pulled Willard within 24-21, and the final touchdown came with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left. A 13-yard run, which all the poise of a published senior. He meandered through traffic and bullied his way through pay dirt. Bolivar's advantage had hit early in the second quarter on Lane Loomer's field 69-yard touchdown run, when the score coming after Seth Smith returned an interception 31 yards for a touchdown, and Evan Haney kicked a 37-yard field goal. Willard gained their momentum in their second series of the second half, marching 93 yards. It was a kick started by Ethan Thompson, bulldogging his way for a 25-yard run on the first play, and eventually Dawson connected with Kenny Chambers on 13 and 14-yard pass plays. Final score, Willard 28, Bolivar 24. On to sports news. Hurricane Harvey moves Texans postseason game against the Cowboys to Dallas. Due to the flooding from Hurricane Harvey, Thursday's preseason game between the Houston Texans and the Dallas Cowboys, originally played at NRG Stadium in Houston, was moved to AT&T Stadium in the Dallas suburb of Arlington. The Texans have been in the Dallas area since Sunday morning, and the team played a preseason game in New Orleans, and they couldn't return to Houston because of inclement weather caused by Hurricane Harvey, now classified as a tropical storm. Patriots star wide receiver Julian Edelman is now out for the season. New England Patriots receiver Julian Edelman will miss the 2017 season because of a right knee injury. The team announced Saturday Edelman suffered the non-contact injury in the first quarter of Friday's preseason game against the Detroit Lions. A league source confirmed to ESPN that Edelman suffered a torn ACL. On to baseball news. Mets outfielder Yoenis Cespedes is now out for the season. Outfielder Yoenis Cespedes will miss the rest of the season due to a right hamstring strain, the New York Mets announced Monday. Cespedes, who was placed on the 10-day disabled list on Saturday, had an MRI on Monday that confirmed the initial diagnosis. With a recovery timeline of 6 weeks and the Mets out of playoff contention, the injury effectively ends the Sluggers' season. Cespedes played in just 81 games this season due to injuries and batted .292 with 17 home runs and 42 RBIs. Down to South Beach, where Stanton hits his 50th home run for a game winner. Miami Marlins star slugger Giancarlo Stanton went to break an 8th-inning tie, helping the Marlins sweep the San Diego Padres with a 6-2 victory on Sunday. Stanton became the first National League player to reach 50 home runs since Prince Fielder hit 50 for the Milwaukee Brewers in 2007. With the score knotted up at 2, D. Gordon singled to lead off the 8th. Stanton then took a 2-1 pitch from Clayton Richard into the hedge and center. The milestone earned Stanton a curtain call from the crowd of 23,725 at Marlins Park. Fans roared as he celebrated with teammates after returning to the dugout, and he climbed to the top of the front step and waved his batting helmet toward the stands. That prompted chants of MVP, MVP. On to minor league baseball action, Copping gives a big strikeout to lead Tulsa over Springfield. Corey Copping struck out Eliezer Alvarez with the bases juiced to end the game, leading the Tulsa Drillers over the Springfield Cardinals on Sunday. Springfield took a 3-1 lead in the first after Randy Arozarena hit an RBI single and then scored on a 2-run double by Jose Adolis Garcia. After tying the game in the fourth, the Drillers took the lead for good with 2 runs in the 6th inning. Yusniel Diaz hit an RBI double and then scored on a single by Garrett en route to the 2-run lead. The Drillers tacked on another run in the 9th when Earl Robinson hit an RBI single, scoring Drew Jackson. Springfield saw its comeback come up short after Oscar Mercado hit an RBI double and then scored on a sacrifice fly by Jacob Wilson in the 9th to cut the Tulsa lead to 6-5. Dennis Santana went 5 innings, allowing 3 runs and 6 hits to pick up the win. He also struck out 8 and walked out 1 for Tulsa. Ryan Helsley went 5 2/3 innings, allowing 5 runs and 6 hits in the Texas League game. He also struck out 6 and walked 1. Final score, Tulsa 6, Springfield 5. Tulsa improves to 72-60, while Springfield falls to 74-58. Down to Arkansas, where Pizzano lifts Arkansas over Northwest Arkansas. Dario Pizzano drove in Chuck Taylor with a sacrifice fly in the first inning, leading the Travs over the Naturals on Sunday. Zach Curtis got Ryan O'Hearn to fly out with a runner on first to conclude the game for his 13th save of the season. Taylor scored on a sacrifice fly to give the Travelers the lead after he led off the first inning with a double and advanced to third on a flyout. Trailing 4-1, the Naturals cut into the deficit in the fifth inning when Donald Deweese hit an RBI double, scoring Nicky Lopez. The Travelers tacked on another run in the seventh when Tyler Marlette drew a bases-loaded walk, scoring Pizano. The Nats saw their comeback attempt come up short after Lopez scored on a ground out in the seventh inning, and Deweese hit an RBI single to cut the Travs' lead to 5-4. Chase DeYoung picked up the win for Arkansas, allowing 2 runs on 5 hits over 5 innings of work. Zach Lavorne took the loss after giving up 4 runs and 7 hits over 5 innings of work. Final score, Arkansas 5, Northwest Arkansas 4. The Travelers improved to 60-72, while the Naturals fall to 64-68. On to Major League Baseball action, the Cards get homers by Carp and Wonger, but come up short. On an afternoon where solo shots accounted for all the scoring, Logan Morrison's 10th inning blast bailed out a Rays bullpen that for the second straight day had struggled to hold a lead. Capping a day in which he reached the 30-homer plateau, Morrison powered past it to lift the Rays to a 3-2 win and a series victory at Busch Stadium. The Rays kept pace in a packed American League wildcard race, where they still trailed the Minnesota Twins by 3 games. The Cardinals, upon completing a 2-4 game homestand, now set off on a 10-day road trip with a 4-game deficit to erase in the National League Central. Over the first 8 innings in St. Louis, the two clubs traded solo homers. Morrison and Brad Miller stung Cardinal starter Lance Lynn with long balls before Colton Wong and Matt Carpenter evened the game. Morrison's first home run made him the 7th different player in franchise history to hit the 30-homer mark. With 1 out in the 10th, he then teed off on Sam Tuivailala's 1-1 fastball to push Tampa Bay back in front. Sergio Romo got the win for Tampa Bay, while Sam Tuivailala took the loss for St. Louis, and Alex Colomé got the save for the Rays. The Rays improved to 65-67, while the Cardinals fall to 65-65. The Rays currently stand in 4th place at 9 games behind the Red Sox, while the Cardinals stand in 3rd place at 5 games behind the Chicago Cubs. The Rays will travel west along I-70 to Kansas City for a 3-game contest with the Royals tonight at 7:15 tonight, while the Cardinals have an off day before traveling to Milwaukee to take on the Brewers for a 3-game set at Miller Park. Kansas City is no match for the Tribe's bats. It was an afternoon of extremes for the Indians and Royals on Sunday. Cleveland's offense overwhelmed early with the 9-run second inning. Kansas City's lineup set a club record scoreless drought, and the Tribe walked away with a 12-0 win at Progressive Field. All 3 homers came in within the 9-run second, with Gomes highlighting the power display with a grand slam off of lefty Onelki Garcia. Lefty starter Eric Stokeland was charged with 7 runs on 7 hits in 1 1/3 innings for the Royals, who are 2.5 games back of the AL second wild card. Kansas City's scoreless streak reached 34 games in the majors this year and in franchise history. The previous Royals mark of 32 was set back in 2004. Carlos Carrasco took the win for the Tribe, while Eric Stokeland took the loss for the Royals. The Royals will return to the K to take on the Rays for a 3-game series tonight starting at 7:15, while the Indians will travel to the Bronx to take on the Yankees for a 6:05 start time from Yankee Stadium. The Indians currently stand in 1st place in the AL Central at 6 games in front of the Minnesota Twins, while the Royals currently stand in 3rd place at 9 games behind the Tribe. On to NFL action, the Seahawks win 26-13, with Chiefs running back Ware injures his right knee. Kansas City running back Spencer Ware's right knee might not be as bad as first feared. Ware sprained his right knee and was carted off the field in the Chiefs' preseason loss to the Seattle Seahawks on Friday night. Russell Wilson was yet again brilliant for Seattle, throwing for 200 yards and a touchdown, but his performance was secondary to the injury suffered by Ware. Wilson played through the entire first half and one drive in the second half. He threw a 2-yard touchdown to Trey Madden and led Seattle on 4 scoring drives. Wilson has 29 of 41 for 447 yards, 3 touchdowns, and not throwing an interception during the game. Patrick Mahomes wasn't as sharp as the first 2 weeks of the preseason. Mahomes was 8 of 15 for 70 yards passing and led 1 scoring drive, a 32-yard field goal by Sam Ficken in 4 possessions. That's going to wrap up our show for today. We hope that you stay tuned for the next show, which will be coming up on Thursday, where we will be talking about the preview for Week 3 of high school football, as well as preview for Week 1 of college football, as well as we'll be looking back at Wednesday's scores from around the minor leagues, and we'll also look at the scores from Wednesday night around the major leagues. And also we'll be talking about the preview for the regular season of the NFL. So we would like to say thank you all for tuning in, and we hope to see you guys next time. Have a good day, everybody.